On today's
Game 7
preview between the Mavs and the Suns, who has the most on the line in this game? And what happens if the Mavericks win? And what happens if the Mavericks lose? We'll talk about all that and more on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good!
And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Let it ride one more time before Game 7. Woo! And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager, Locked On Podcast Network. This is my dog. Thanks for making us your first listen every single day. We are free and available on all platforms, including YouTube, where you can subscribe to the show. The best way to help us grow and to get my dog to be quiet is to comment below. And joining me, as always, my co-host, writer, and contributor at Mavs.com, the dog dude, the one more thing king. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
What an incredible Sunday, man. We're all ready for this. Hey, if you love the game of basketball, you love the NBA, then you're ready for today, man. You get 2 Game 7s, you get Bucks and Celtics at 2:30, which is awesome. Nick's dog is getting treats probably, on Sunday. And then you obviously get the nightcap, the second Game 7 with Phoenix and Dallas. So it's just a lot of fun. You love basketball. You love days like, today. And obviously we're nervous going into the game. I feel like I've gotten multiple texts over the past few days saying, hey, how you feeling?
How you feeling?
How you doing? What's the prediction for Sunday? All that stuff. And it's like, at this point, we just got to see how it plays out, man. I'm excited for it, but I'm nervous at the same time.
In this Game 7, let's just get it. We did a couple of keys yesterday talking about this. A couple of keys that the Mavericks defense absolutely has to show up. The Mavericks win games in the series when their defensive rating is basically like between 100 and 109, 106, like that. They lose games when it's over 110, 115, 140, like that defensive rating loses some games. The turnover battle is big. But today, we talked about keys yesterday. We want to talk about a couple of narratives in this. What would it mean for the Mavericks to win this game today?
Oh, my gosh. We said it, when we were talking about narratives, gosh, I guess it was a few games ago, when it was a 3-game series of if Dallas beats Phoenix today, then I think everybody's minds are just like rolling at that point of holy crap. Like, are they about to have their, Kevin Durant OKC early finals appearance? Are they going to, one thing I don't want us to do is just completely overlook Golden State, because obviously they look beatable against Memphis and they don't look like the same Golden State, but you're still going to go against, if they win, you would still go against a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green Warriors team, Steve Kerr. They've been there. They've done that type of thing. So I wouldn't want us to overlook it and say, we win Game 7, we're going to the finals. It's like, all right, still a tough series.
The finals.
But they're not as scary as before.
As the Suns.
Yeah, and I think we said it before the series, if you beat Phoenix in a series, then you have every right to be as confident of saying, dude, we can beat anybody, because this team just won 64 games this regular season, best team in the league. So I think that's the thing. I think there's a bigger scale of things of, even David Locke, tweeting out saying Giannis and Luka, and is this what y'all want to see? And I've seen some tweets over the past few days saying
that those were the 2 best guys left in the playoffs, he said.
Yeah, and it's like I saw a tweet, I forgot who said it is a national personality saying, man, is this what it's going to look like for the years to come of Giannis and Luka on the opposite sides there of their conference finals, or and saying, hey, we're going to be here for a while type thing. So I think for Luka to get that conference finals would be massive. It'd be a huge learning moment for this Mavs team.
How many highlights of that 2009 Cavs team would be played over and over and over again if Luka made it there? That would be insane.
Yeah, it would be great for this podcast. It'd be great for our bank account.
It would be great for you guys. Like, it'd be great for you listening right now. Like, it'd be an incredible moment. Like, it would be an incredible moment for the Mavericks to get there, just to get to the Western Conference Finals. Like, just to win this game 7 would be an incredible moment. It would be incredibly validating of Luka Doncic, right? Just that we have, you listen to, if you listen to fans, or if you listen to other people that you've seen online that are like Luka haters, like, why do you think that guy's so great? He's not that great. He's a whiner, smug, blah blah blah. Kirk tweeted out like this bingo chart of all the things that people say that are negative against Luka, that was like all these different reasons. And you've heard them. You've heard all these reasons that people come against Luka. But if he gets past Phoenix, then all of a sudden it just validates everything. It validates him and his career. And I know that that some people have been talking negative about the heliocentric offense and the offense surrounded by just one guy. And can you win when your offense is surrounded by one guy? But if the Mavericks win this game 7, I think it proves that it can happen. You just have to have one of the all-time generational, like, best players at a certain point, because this is Luka's usage percentage over the last over these 6 games so far. 47, 45, 48, 46, 41, 48. That is in the 93rd percentile all the way to the 100th percentile. Like, just the highest of highest usage percentage you can have in a single game, Luka has had in all 6 of these games. And it would prove, at least in one way, maybe Luka's the exception, but that a heliocentric offense can work and can get you far in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about what that would prove. Yeah, I don't know. Even the statement of like it would validate Luka. I'm trying to think of even if like what it would validate for him, but just because it is game 4. I mean, it is year 4. He's went to the playoffs 3 years. He took the step this year and made it to the second round. That I don't think people should be holding it against him if they lose and be like, I don't know how good you are because you didn't make it to a conference finals. But I'm curious of what internally what it would mean if they win, of like just roster building, how they feel about the team. If you make it to a conference finals, let's say they did, win game 7, then they lost in the next round. Then are you like, run it back again? We were right there.
We were so close. We were
so close type of thing. How do they feel, if they lose in 7 to the Suns? Could they have the same mindset of like, dude, we just took the Suns to 7 games?
The same mindset they've had the last 2 years of, hey, we just took the Clippers to 7 games. Hey, we just took the Clippers to 6 games, right? With this roster. However, we did see them make a big move, even though they had that mindset. The front office had to change, but then the new front office changed the roster a lot, because we just talked about yesterday how different this roster is than the one in game 7 from last year.
But nationally, this would be the most talked about series if Dallas pulled it off, because it'd be the biggest upset of the playoffs so far. And just that,
the only upset of the playoffs so far.
I guess so.
Because all the top seeds have moved on so far.
Top seeds, but I feel like Toronto.
Well, Golden State, I guess, was a 3, and Grizzlies were 2. But
I feel like Toronto was picked a lot over Philly, and Philly, Philly beat them. But this is like true big time upset for a lot of people if Dallas beats them. And there would be a lot of discourse happening with Dallas stuff of Luka talk, from all the, fun talking head people that we all enjoy to take quotes from. But I think Jason Kidd would get some praise. He would
for
get
sure.
and rightfully so for the coaching stuff. I think he's getting a little bit overlooked right now for the coaching job he's done this year. But I would be really curious what the national conversations would be if they put out Phoenix.
Let's talk about quickly what would it mean if the Mavs lost. If the Mavs lose this game 7, I don't think it devalidates anything. It doesn't bring up big questions about Luka and say, oh, can Luka win in a big stage? Just prove that you can take this Suns team to 7, right? It doesn't take him to that next level of validation if they did win, right? Like, people wouldn't talk about it, but they'd be like, oh dang, but Luka, remember he took that Suns team to 7 with that roster and blah blah blah. That would be the talking point. But the series so far has validated Jalen Brunson, right? Like, even if they lose, I think that Jalen Brunson has proven that he can be at least a decent second guy next to Luka, and take him to a decent place in the playoffs.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think you're stronger on that than I probably am. Just a little bit of, I think if they lose this game 7 and you're coming out of it and you're saying we got to upgrade somewhere, then what do you upgrade? Because I think the role players are great. I think they're great fits next to Luka. Now, obviously, if you have Reggie Bullock and you love Reggie, and then it's like, oh, you wouldn't want to upgrade him to Paul George. I see that, but I'm saying like the role players of Reggie, Dorian, Maxey, I think they're good, solid role players in the role that they're playing. I would look at the big man spot and say, do we really want to pay Rudy Gobert $45 million? So then naturally, I think the only other spot that you'd look at and say, all right, we got to legit go out and get a solid number 2, an all-star type of number 2, a Drew Holiday, whatever you want to say, a Chris Paul that was, before it looked like he aged, 20 years type thing. So I think that would be the only
Happy birthday, CP.
Happy birthday, CP. I think that would be my only hesitation a little bit of like what it validates coming out of the season, because you have to go in the offseason saying you want to upgrade somewhere. So it has to be somewhere. But
for sure. No, and I'm not saying even if they lose, I'm like, oh, Jalen Brunson is that guy. But he's at least proven that the Mavericks can go far in the playoffs if Jalen Brunson is that guy.
Yeah.
Even in a loss.
And I'll say this, like if Dallas going into this game 7, win or lose, I'm not going to be so depressed on this pod, because we've said that this is already a success. Like the moment they made the second round, that was the goal this year. And especially the moment you beat the Suns 3 times. And how fun is it winning home games? Like we didn't get to experience this last year. We lost every home game against the Clippers. It was that exact opposite you laid out, 2 days ago on the pod. And it's like home court feels like it's back in the AAC. It feels like it means something now. And if you're going to hold something true to your heart going into next year of saying, we want a higher seed next year.
Yes.
We want to go for one of those top seeds. It's because look at our record. We were 5-1 last year in the playoffs, and that AAC was rocking. We want home court advantage this year. So I think that's something you hold on to if you're Dallas. But man, win or lose.
And that one loss was without Luka, right?
Yeah. Was that
right.
Is that Utah game?
Game 1 against Utah.
But like if they lose, we're obviously going to be bummed and like, dang it. But it's not the end of the world. And guys, if they win, y'all not ready for the pod if they win. Like you're talking about letting it ride. Like I don't know what's going to happen on the pod if they beat Phoenix and win game 7. I'm looking around. I don't even know what I'm going to wear. I don't know what I would do on the pod. I would push the limits.
Would you wear a jersey
of YouTube? Oh, I'll wear a jersey. I'll wear a jersey. I think I could open that window if I could smoke a cigar, but no, man, it's gonna be good. We're playing with house money in a sense of it doesn't take away the investment that we're gonna have as fans or as media or whatever. It's like, hey, we want to win this game, but man, it's a lot of fun, and this season's already a success.
Absolutely. So coming up, what is on the line in this game 7 then? What is on the line for Chris Paul? What would it mean for Chris Paul? What is the state of the league if the Mavericks do win? We'll talk about all that and more coming up. All right, Isaac Harris. All the pressure is on the Phoenix Suns in this game 7. Yes or no?
Yeah, 100%.
All of it, right? Because they're at home. We've heard at certain points in the series, now not many, the Mavericks haven't won games in Phoenix yet, but we've heard certain games where the Mavericks are winning or they're tight with the Suns, where the Suns crowd just gets so quiet and you like don't even realize that Suns crowd is there. And you can kind of feel that maybe something would happen. You saw in that game 6 when the Suns realized, hey, we just don't got it. They kind of folded a little bit and they're like, all right, it's just done. They didn't have any more fight left in them. A lot of pressure is on this Phoenix Suns team.
Yeah. I mean, you win 64 games this year. You're in the finals last year. And I mean, you're the favorite to go to the finals. All the pressure is on you. There's no, for all the reasons we laid out about Dallas and just being the next step in their growth as a team and everything. Like if everybody's going to pick Phoenix in this game, we talked about the BetOnline odds on yesterday's pod. Like all the national people are going to pick Phoenix to win this game. They know the pressure's on them. So Dallas,
Phoenix by 6, by the way, is the spread right there. 6 points.
Okay. Time to make some money.
If you feel strongly about it, go check out BetOnline. What's on the line for Chris Paul in this game? And do we think he's hurt?
Yeah, I mean, you might know something by now, as far as the extent of his injury, if there's anything. I read a couple of his post-game, comments after the game the other night, and he said he was good, fine, and everything. So, I mean, I'm assuming that he's playing and he'll be fine.
I mean, LeBron said that, and then he showed up with a cast at the end of the finals, right?
He was still fine. I've never seen
he had to film Space Jam.
A more traumatic thing in my life of LeBron showing up with a cast to. Now I'm just in a bad mood. That's one of the funniest dramatic things I've ever seen on a finals post game stage, but it's LeBron. That's part of it. Chris Paul, I mean, we all know he wants the title, and it's like, I mean, y'all have an amazing regular season this year, and I mean, you can't help it. He's 37, so next year will be 38, and it's like, when's that time going to be for you? So happy birthday, CP.
Happy birthday, CP.
So yeah, I mean, and especially the fact that he hasn't played well. Like, I mean, it's not like he's going out torching in the fourth and it's still going to game 7. It's like, oh dang, he's did everything he could this series at 37. No, he's looked older, and now he could very well go out tonight in game 7 and put up a 26, 28 points and kill it in the fourth. And I wouldn't be shocked, if he came back to life after a couple days rest and was really down in vegan food and just got really energized, and he's super efficient. But I wouldn't be shocked. But then again, I mean, he hasn't had a good series outside the first 2 games.
The wild thing about Chris Paul is that he has still been efficient. He just hasn't taken a lot of shots, right? Like, it's just so weird that he's still shooting.
I just looked it up. Turnovers. The turnover stuff is the surprising part.
Last 4 games in the fourth quarter, Chris Paul is averaging 3.5 points, but he's shooting 56% from the field, 80% from 3 in the fourth quarter. 1.5 assists, 1 turnover. But like, he's still been kind of efficient in those fourth quarters. He just hasn't taken a large volume of shots. He took 2 shots a game in the fourth quarter over the last 4 games. Do you take any stock in the fact that it's been these 4 games that he has not been good? Do you think that it's something, or do you think he can just rise up in this game 7 and actually like win him a game? Because they're going to need him to win.
I think he very well could. I just don't know if he will. I don't know if this will. I could see it either way. I could see him bouncing back, having a big time game, and like, all right, he just needed a couple of days and he's back on track.
The 2 days off helped him.
Yeah, or he continues this kind of streak here and he doesn't have a great game, and it's like a nail biter in the fourth, and we're sitting there saying, dang, he really only took 8 shots or whatever it is, and it could go that way too. So I'm really curious about DeAndre Ayton in this game.
Yeah,
it's crazy because it feels like he hadn't had that big of a series, but he's averaging basically 17, 18 points, 9 rebounds in the series. That's kind of his average for the regular season. He was, he averaged basically 17 and 10 in the regular season. It's like, all right, well, you're kind of doing what you did in the regular season. It just feels like you would expect more of him because of Dallas's front line and all of that.
And with Chris Paul not playing well, him also not being able to step up and fill that void has been huge for them and has really stood out.
Yeah. Yeah. And something I'm watching too is the minutes in this game 7. It's obviously do or die. I don't know if Jason Kidd will call this an elimination game, but this is you lose, you go home. So what does the rotation look like? Does both teams really push it? Are we looking at Luka, Booker, all these guys? How coming off the bench, do we see Dinwiddie play like 10 minutes in this game, especially if he misses a few early? Are we looking at both teams riding these guys most of the fourth quarter? It just game 7, everything's kind of thrown out, and I'll just be really curious what the rotations look like.
Whew. If the Mavericks win, Luka did what?
Luka had over 10 assists.
It has to be. He's got to be dishing early. He's got to be kicking out to shooters. He's got to be creating shots for other guys. It's got to be a team effort, I think. We've seen Luka try to play the hero ball in games 1 and game 2. didn't work as well. But we saw him play more team defense or play more team offense and share the ball, still get his own points, but within the offense and all that, it's been way better. We all hope for a Luka like 40-point night where he just goes off. He had 46 and 14 assists in game 7 of last year against that Clippers team. So
Yeah.
Man, if he's been waiting for something, maybe it's the time.
Well,
46 and 14 assists. That's insane.
Against Kawhi and Paul George, isn't it? Insane. I want to see what he looks like in the fourth too. You know, game 7 brings a whole different type of energy and adrenaline and all of that. And you're just so hyped that, you know, I want to see how he manages that throughout the game, how Dallas manages that throughout the game, that to where he's not just hands on his knees, just completely gassed with, 10 minutes to go in the fourth.
Because they're going to attack him.
Yeah, they're going to attack him defensively and everything. So I'm curious to see what Phoenix, does to try to get Luka to that state early in the fourth. Can we keep Phoenix out of the bonus? Phoenix loves to sell the fouls, and that would be huge if we can keep them out of the bonus. I just want this game to happen. It feels so weird because we've had one day off in between all the games, and now game 6 happens. Obviously, Dallas wins. We're like, can we just play game 7 now? Like, I just want this game now. Let's just get this thing over with.
Bring it on. Bring on game 7. So we will be here, win or lose, and still continuing 5 days a week. I know that person tweeted at me, hey, only 2 more pods left because there's only 2 more games. But guess what? Not true. We'll continue 5 days a week all through the offseason. We got free agency, we got the draft. The Mavs have a pick.
For us, just a heads up. Like, let's just do either or. If you're listening to this on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon before the game, this is kind of what it looks like for us, win or lose. Obviously, if Dallas wins, you're going to get an all-timer post-game pod after the game. You don't want to miss that. And then we'll obviously move on with, the next series, Western Conference Finals, which would be crazy and awesome, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. If Dallas loses, we're still going to be back on Monday. Exit interviews will probably be Monday, to where all the, most of the players, coach, Nico probably will talk that day, have a lot of quotes. We'll talk about that for at least that next, pod, maybe 2 pods from that. We'll probably do a couple like exit survey type pods from us, from players and bigger picture stuff going to the off season. And then for us, we kind of flipped the switch completely to draft. So we'll be getting into a lot of the draft stuff. I know I've already got some tabs folders starting to go a little bit.
We'll do some season review stuff. We'll do a couple things like that and review Luka's season and Brunson and all that and a couple of preview things. But
it's kind of wild that, it's May, 17th basically, and, or your 15th. And it's like,
how many, what calendar are you using?
Well, I forgot we're already past midnight. So I was trying to figure out when this pod was coming out.
Are we wearing the same clothes as yesterday? Oh God.
But no, it's wild because I was thinking, I'm like, oh dang, the draft we haven't been used to playing into mid-May. So, it's like,
well, except for game 7 of last year's was in June.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, but it's like the draft, it's coming up next month. And it's like, man, I want to start getting, ahead on that and stuff, with our draft pick and stuff. So we never stop. You'll have the pods and
heck no.
And you fans, it's like the fans almost enjoy off season and speculation and trade rumors and draft stuff more than actual games. So
Mavs won game 6. And guess what? The chat, and when we played the YouTube video, we premiered the YouTube video, everybody was talking about Miles Turner sitting courtside. What is Miles Turner available? Is Miles Turner going to show up next year? Is he going to get traded to the Mavs? Like, that's all anyone want to talk about, even after a game 6 win. So,
hey, if you played for Rick, you'd try to go to opposing teams too. So just kidding, guys.
Oh man.
Kidding.
There you go, guys. We'll be back, win or lose, after game 7.
Game 7.
Enjoy it. Have fun.
Have fun.
Enjoy it. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.